Grand Risings. So yesterday I was very satisfied with the conversations I was having with the people in the neighborhood yesterday. It's um it's fairly interesting uh what people think about a neighborhood and then what people who like myself who don't live there perceive about a neighborhood. So like what people are judging and then what people are perceiving because the people in that neighborhood I was in yesterday, they're like, everybody wants to move out of this neighborhood. This neighborhood is terrible. And what I'm perceiving is, like average house, average upkeep as far as like maintenance and trash and stuff. They do have a HOA, but it's not mandatory. So it's a voluntary HOA. And I talked to the owner, well, the president of the HOA. He was a cool guy. He was giving me all kinds of information. He said, "Hey, man, if you're looking for somebody who wants to move into the neighborhood, you should call the vice president of the HOA. Here's his phone number." So he was very helpful. He was like, "Yeah, we got these houses cleaned up, and we raised money for this new sign at the front of the neighborhood, and we're about to get these roads paved next year. We already got them approved through the city." And I was like, "Wow, like that's so interesting that him being the president of the HOA, he's like, you know what? They voted me president. I didn't even want to be president." It's funny. He had some reluctance, but then the other homeowners were like, "Oh, we don't like it here. We think it's terrible." Me, of course, I'm there to see like, hey, if you thought about moving, do you know anybody who wants to move into the neighborhood? Have you thought about selling your home? No, I can't sell my home. So it's like there's always that like silent majority. I guess if you talk to them, they complain because they're like, we don't like it here, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. Even though there are real options, like they could join the HOA, they could sell their house with me, they could change their attitude. So that was just one thing. The other thing is I actually ended up talking with um, this man. He worked through the company. I think he worked through the owner of one of the homes, right? So when I say that, I mean the house that was actually like just listed. He was coming out of the house next door to it, and I was asking him if he knew anybody that wanted to move to the area. And he was like, "No, actually, this home is one of our company's rental properties because we buy properties and we fix them up, rent them out, that type of stuff." I was like, "Oh, wow, that's pretty interesting." I was like, "How long have you guys been in business?" And he was like, "Oh, just about 3 years." I was like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "Yes." And so then he started telling me like how many homes they had. They had over 3,000 homes, which they had acquired in just 3 years. I'm like, what? They picked up 3,000 houses in like he really said like 3,500, 3,500 plus houses in under 3 years. I'm like, whoa, man, it takes like one person 3 years to buy one house. I was like, and he started just telling me all these stories about the company and about his life and about, it's actually pretty funny. He started telling me about his religion, his politics, and some good movies to watch that I'm gonna watch, like The Big Short, Too Big to Fail, and it's another one. It's like Money Walk or Money Talk or something. The third one. Either way, this guy was like as far as just like talking with him just broke a lot of the demographic stereotypes that I had about, in his words, old white men. He's like, "Oh, everyone thinks old white men are the devil," and I'm like, I'm listening to him, listening to his story, and I'm like, I mean, are you? I don't know you, so And he's like really saying like, yeah, it's really just the media who is trying to divide us. He's like, we all have the same values. And he was like, it's killing wrong. He was like, yeah, of course. And he's like, if people are being a knucklehead, does it matter if they're black or white? He's like, I'm like, no, pretty much it doesn't. So, because if they're being a knuckle, like I'm gonna say the same. I'm like, hey, this guy's being a jerk or something, or a knucklehead, like a bonehead. So he was just, it was really interesting. Like he was just telling me, like it was actually interesting how I got into that scenario where this dude is literally just telling me his life, like literally from the time, like literally from I guess like from the time he got out of high school up until like right now. Like he's like, yeah, I got all these promotions, and then get this was the part that was kind of like blowing my mind. This dude was like, man, everyone thinks white men are the devil. I know what they're thinking. I got this pale skin and I'm looking Irish and whatnot. And he's all look Irish. But the thing is, this was the part. So he was like, but would you believe that I was in a rap rock group in his 20s? Like, so when he was in my age, he was in the music industry in a rap rock group with 3 white guys and 3 black guys out of Tennessee. And the man was actually on MTV. Some of his songs were produced by Run DMC's producer. He knew all them. They toured with them. They played in New York. They had a bus and everything. I'm like, it's just like, I was like, bro, this man is actually like over 50, right? White guy. And this man literally had a whole musical career as an artist. And he showed me the song. He pulled it up on YouTube and showed me his band. I'm like, what? Like, this guy is like, and now this dude is doing like real estate. Like, I think he's like a field manager, if in their company, I'm like, whoa, this is kind of like, it's really making me rethink my life in the sense of like, there's a lot you can really do in life. There's a lot that not a lot, but I would say like, okay, put it like this. I have to rethink that too. It's not a lot, but there's time to do everything you want to do in life. And it's really true. Like he's a white guy, 55, and of course, like, very unbelievable. He would be in a rap rock group, like a fusion group of rapping and rock with 3 other black guys. I'm like, what? If you can do that, man, I know I can do anything. I know I can have all kinds of careers in the arts, this career in real estate. Because the man is like, yeah, I actually had like 3 careers. I was in the music industry for 10 years. Then I like worked at a freight company and retired through there. Then I started my own company, made $1 million. Now I'm working here. I'm like, what? This man had like 3, 4 careers, 3, 4 careers, and he was actually a very down to earth guy. And really, the opinions that he was like sharing with me, I didn't disagree with them. I can't say like I wholeheartedly like, oh, I believe that, because it was just stuff that I had never thought about or cared enough to form an opinion on. So it's just like he can have his opinions and have a conversation with me without offending me, because like the things he cares about wholeheartedly are things that I'm just like, I'm not gonna really even try to pressure myself into doing these things, because they're lifelong things where it's like, oh well, I mean, except for like guns, I definitely believe people should own guns, because why not? Like, they're just tools. And so I definitely agree with him on that. But I mean, it was just, it's just like, man, I'm an old white guy. So I do anything wrong, I'm a Nazi. Or I'm in the Klan. And to hear him say that, which is just like, yeah, people really do feel like, yeah, if you white guys, you're pretty much all racist. He never actually said that word, but y'all are pretty much, y'all could all be in the Klan, or you're a Nazi, or you're the devil. It's just like, he's like, yeah, man, the media is just trying to create separation and division. And I was like, wow, this dude really does have a lot in common with me, because one, not only was he in a band, but he plays drum set. He played drum set. He was the drummer. And I'm like, I know how to play the drums. I'm a drummer. So I was like, what? This dude, me and this dude, like, if I would have really went down music, I could have been in a band and been just like that guy at this age, like just, playing on TV and, meeting famous people and or whatever, like professionally dropping a real album, getting it professionally mastered, and then touring. And like that's like a real, like he had a really like legitimate career in music. And it's pretty amazing like that me and this guy have very similar, I mean, we're just very similar. Even though he's like he's probably like 50 plus white male, probably has like one or two kids or something. And he was telling me that like he didn't even have his degree until like he was like at least like 30 something. Like he didn't even started no education till he was in his 30s, which I'm like, wow. So he just took his time with life. Like he just took his time with like, I don't want to say like degrees is like a part of life, but he just took his time with his education. He just was doing like one course at a time and just was like studying it and finished it, and he has his degree, which is pretty amazing. That the fact that like I met somebody who just like didn't get a degree in 4 years, which I think for most people is probably not the best approach, because you just have no life experience to determine like which classes you should actually pursue based off of your also off of your history and experience in life. And also, it's like, why would you have to take it in 4 years? It's education is lifelong. So clearly, because this man is like 30, 40, and then even when you get in your company, you're gonna have to learn company policies and procedures. So you're gonna have to keep learning, which is something that people are like don't realize. Maybe. But this man, I was pretty interested. Like it was really interesting how I even got him to tell me his whole story, his whole life story, because I really just wasn't saying too much. I wasn't saying really anything. I was just kind of like focusing on my body language and just trying to listen to what he was saying, because I was like, man, this dude. Like I find when people are wanting to tell you, they want to pour their soul out. It's just good to just be available to listen, because you probably don't have a lot of people to do that with. To just like, I don't know who this person is. I just feel like maybe I could share a little bit of myself, tell them about my journey in life, and it made me feel really good, because it's like, dang, if this guy is over here, he's 50 plus, white guy, was in a rap band. It's like, man, I can have whatever career I want, either that I can finish out this real estate career and build up my brokerage, build the brokerage business. I can do whatever other careers I want to pursue. Like, there's enough time for me to pursue everything I want to pursue in life. I, after meeting him, I wholeheartedly understand, like, yeah, you're gonna have plenty of time to do everything you want to do. And that guy, he's like, yeah, I'm about to get on the Zoom call so I can learn a little bit more about how they do the financing for these real estate deals. I'm like, bruh, I know exactly how they do that, but I'm not gonna tell him, like, cause he's gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? Some things people wanna they're gonna find out their own way. Because he's like, I just know it elementary, and so I'm not even like advanced in the company. But it was just like, cause it was just pretty amazing to hear him. Like I know the things he's trying to learn, so it's just like, man, life really comes full circle. And then I also met another guy. This guy was actually driving around in his car and knocking on doors, and his guy sold insurance. And me and him were talking. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's really great that you don't have to have a really like an accountability partner who's calling you, telling you to, um, like, hey, you got to go out the house and you got to go knock on some doors, and we got this big team, and we could join our group so that way you can have real insurance sales as another stream of income." And that's like we get leads, and I'm over here actually checking out a lead in the neighborhood, and that's they just teach us like what things to focus on and how to have mindset, and um yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just focusing on being consistent, and what else? I mean, I have it written right here on the process, on the interactions that I go through, that I'm interactions that I'm like entering into. And it was really cool talking with him. I connected with him. And oh, funny thing, that white guy, I don't even know his name. Like, he literally was just talking to me. I gave him my business card. Never found out what his name was. So it's just kind of like just one of those people. Um and so I got a text message. Someone said, "I told you I would call you." Maybe it's a lead or something like that. Um so also I met another older guy. I'll say like, yeah, I would say he's like a man. He was like, man, he was parking his truck. He was like, man, I've been riding a scooter. He's like, man, I was like, I ain't want to run your stuff over or something like that. But basically, he was saying like, I'm gonna park right here so you can park right there. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, you don't, yeah, like don't run over my car, cause it's my vehicle. Cause I was talking about my scooter being my car. He's like, that electric scooter? Oh, come on, man, we gotta get you some sales so you can upgrade, get you an electric scooter. I was just laughing. He was just really cracking jokes, and I was laughing. It was pretty funny. And he was like, man, you gotta get up to a 5,000 business cards, and then then you see where it goes from there. I was like, man, why did you have to say a number I haven't gotten to yet? And he was like, oh well, it's just you stick with it, and soon as you get tired of it, and then your phone's gonna blow up. I was like, yeah, that's true. That's what happened. That's what happened last time. About when I was doing this 5 years ago. That is what happened. Um, it did. I mean, that's what happened. I was doing the door knocking and the cold calling for like 3 months, and about actually 4 to 6 months. Let me just say 4 to 5 months, and then I started getting leads when I stopped. So just got to keep at it. And then he really came, like he really like aided me by giving me some water, giving me like 2 bottles of water. He's like, yeah, just keep a frozen one in your pouch, your fanny pack, and it'll thaw out during the day, and you can drink that. Cause I was like, man, it was thirsty. And he was like, yeah, man, just keep at it. I've been doing this landscaping for like 10, 15, 20 years, really. And I really started making money this year. So he's like, I even had other people working for me. But I wasn't really making any money. It's like, now this year I'm making a lot of money. I just count up my money on Fridays. And he's like, just stay at it. Then he showed me how he has his I guess his advertising. He's like, yeah, these are like sticky notes. I just put them on people's mailbox for my company, and they'll give me a call. So yeah, to make a long story short, well, it actually is a pretty long story, which is fine, because it's like these are like the highlights of the day, because the homeowners, if they're not like super trying to talk to you, or if they're not like interested in having a conversation, then you look for the things that are really like motivating. And one of the things that was motivating was these other people who are entrepreneurs who are in the neighborhood who are, again, like, they find that, like, this is a great neighborhood to be in, to work in, because as an entrepreneur, I can go anywhere I want to. I can go wherever I want, spend my time however I want. And so they think it's a fine neighborhood, but some of the homeowners are like, oh. I'm like, well, I'm here to help. And at the end of all that, like the second to last house out the neighborhood, I talked with her, and she said, yeah, let's set up an appointment for her to sell her house. So I set up an appointment for her with for next Thursday. So I'm gonna be so I got a listing appointment that's that day also. So that was at the end of the day, right before I went home. So I'll just, I'll be preparing for that. And it's pretty cool. Like, I just gotta stay consistent. Yeah, because I still got, even though that morning I did not want to go outside. Yesterday morning I was not trying to go outside. But at the end of the day, I got a listing appointment. So it's just one of those things where it is a numbers game. Keep passing out more business cards, and like, you don't have to be internally motivated. Just focus on, just like, for me, I'm just focused on hitting my numbers, and then the passion will come, and the passion does come through. It's just getting out of that mode of complacency. So today I'm going to go check on the project I'm doing, take some content for that, see how I can add value to my partner, and check on this person who called me just now. All right, farewell.